Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So I want to put together a video today because these cars from the factory have a pretty nasty flaw that can affect the drivability of these cars, which I think is connected to my issue that I have in the rear end with the squealing and the squeaking that I haven't had the chance to dive into yet, but we're going to be taking care of that in a video hopefully tomorrow. But I wanted to put this together because I thought of another possibility that could be causing the squealing, the squeaking, that might not technically be a bent axle. It could be another issue that these cars are prone to when you lower a car. So let's dive into that. I gotta head over to the gas station, get some gas, and let's talk about it. I was in hopes of driving to the gas station that the squeak would rear its nasty head. So my luck, as always, it won't. But we'll see. So I'm driving, and I swear to God, every time I put on the camera and I hit record, it decides not to squeal. And every time I'm not recording, I'm here in the car. Every so often it does get a little squeaky. So might sound like I'm not knowing what I'm talking about or I'm hearing things, but I swear to God, there's something happening in the rear end of this thing. So, but I'm gonna go ahead over here. I want to try to top off the tank a little bit, and then because hoping to drive over there and in hopes that I could actually capture it on camera, but it's not, so at least as of right now. So price of gas is at least going down a little bit. Anyone that goes to Buc-ee's on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, good luck trying to get out of one, man. I drove around, so there's a whole shit ton of pumps here, and then there's a lot more over on that side. I drove all the way over on that end and this end, circling back twice to find a freaking gas pump, man. I just finally found one over here on this end, and then you gotta try to get back out. It's a process. So anyone who owns an S197, not just particularly a GT500, know that these cars are really prone to nasty wheel hop. The wheel hop on these things sucks. Even when you're not trying to like take off hard from like a dig or anything like that. If you're just trying to sometimes take off from a stoplight, you notice that the rear end likes to hop a little bit. Now, a lot of that is obviously more amplified when you lower the car and you have stiffer suspension and stiffer springs, but obviously you get upper and lower control arms to help counter that and take care of that issue, which can obviously help that. I don't have aftermarket control arms on the car yet. That is coming here soon. I just all I've done to the suspension on this so far is I got the iBox Sport Lines, which I believe compared to the iBox Pro Kits, Sport Lines drop it. It's more of an aggressive drop. They drop it, I think it's like 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit more. Hang on one second, I gotta get over here. So the reason why I'm talking about that, because I was talking about like the squealing and the rear end and all the other possibilities that could be causing that, what made me get on the topic of, oh, the rear end of these types of cars have a pretty nasty flaw when it comes to wheel hop, is, well, when you lower the car, it throws off the balance of your axles more often than not. It can shift it one way or another. For some reason, I didn't think about the possibility that maybe that is what's causing my issue with my squealing. Since I lowered the car, now I can't remember how long it's been squealing for. I guess I became numb to it for a while, I guess. I don't know. And then I started to hear other issues that people had with the squealing and their bent axles, and it became this catastrophic issue. So I started to paying a lot more attention to it when I heard, oh, well, if it's your axles, if you keep driving on it, it can cause like a major issue. So I was thinking about that for a while, and I kept thinking, man, I don't think it's the axles. I don't think it's my axles, because, yeah, I mean, I have the car and I have it for a reason. I mean, I take it out and I enjoy it, and I don't beat on it that often, but, you know, you do what the car is meant to do with 700 plus horsepower. Okay, real quick. Okay, so I just pulled back into this area that I was in. It just was squeaking. Now it stopped. Every time. It's kind of squeaking. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I swear I'm not taking crazy pills. I swear there's a squeak. Okay, so I think my issue is connected to the fact that the car obviously is lowered. I got the iBox Sport lines on the car. And when you lower a car with your factory panhard bar, you know, it could throw off the alignment of the axles, and obviously, you know, it could possibly shift one way or another. And how I'm thinking, that could possibly cause a squeak or a squeal when it's off. I haven't measured, you know, like the wheelbase on either end and done any tests on it. So obviously this is just my own theory of what I think it could possibly be. I think it's one of two likely issues. So I do think when we tear the car apart, or the rear end parts, and we dive deeper into it, I think, I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be connected to the fact that with the factory panhard bars, it can shift the axles. So that'll give me an excuse to purchase an aftermarket adjustable panhard bar, and hopefully that will correct my issue. It's that, or it's the pads, warped rotor, somewhere along the lines of that. I think the bent axle is the least likely option, in my opinion. So we're gonna dive a lot more into this tomorrow. Henry is gonna come over because he has a lot more tools than what I have. I've since we moved from Washington, a lot of stuff that you pack up and you put in certain boxes, and then you unpack certain things, don't show up where they're supposed to be. So like simple things like a tire iron, I don't know what even happened to my tire iron, and so a lot of stuff is still in boxes. I haven't unpacked all of our stuff since we moved, but anyway, he's coming over to help me with that because he has a lot more tools when it comes to tearing stuff apart, and it's always good to have a friend and like a second opinion with certain things. So we're going to dive a lot more into the issue on potentially what it is. I'm leaning more towards, like I said, it could be my panhard bar with it, with the axles being off. Henry potentially thinks it's just my brake pads. I could just have some worn out pads. I don't think it's the pads. They're getting pretty close to being replaced, but I don't think it's the pads. The pads, I've had squeaky pads before, and that's with brake pads that have a lot less life on them than what I have on these. So I think it's one of two things. I think the axles, like I said, are shifted. That's number one. Number two, rotors potentially are warped, and I just gotta resurface them or just replace them. So I Not sure how you could tell just by looking at it. It feels smooth. It's hard to tell, but we're gonna take it all apart and we're gonna find out. The pads, from what I've seen before, the pads, the life on the pads looked okay, so I don't think it's the pads. But if I do, I mean, I might as well get some ceramic ones, because this, I just wiped this down and already brake dust, man. It's part of the life of these cars, man. Just producing massive amount of brake dust, and that's just going down. That's just from going down the highway and back again. So if we end up finding out that the issue is with the axles being off, and I replace the panhard bar, upper and lower control arms to counter the wheel hop in these things, because it makes it sometimes just not enjoyable just trying to just drive the car around. I don't think the S550s have anywhere close to the issues when it comes to the hop that these ones do. So it's been a problem. I've had other S197s before in the past, and it's been the same problem. It's part of the it's part of what comes with the package with these cars. You just gotta, it's one of the first things you gotta just take care of that. But I've had the car now for 4.5 years, and I haven't gotten around to it's my own fault. Just still got the factory upper and lower control arms. So that I'm gonna take care of all that probably if I have to. If that's gonna fix my issue, I'm gonna replace the panhard bars and the upper control arms and everything like that. I'll be doing all that, but if that is my issue, that's gonna be what's gonna be taken care of first. If that's going to fix my issue with whatever is, you know, causing that issue. So I'm gonna do a process of elimination, find out what the problem is, take care of that problem, and then if it's not, you know, the panhard bar, I'm still going to replace those. I just want to take care of whatever issue I have that's causing that first, because I don't want it to turn into a catastrophic issue. Obviously, if it is a bent axle and you continue to drive on a bent axle, I've heard stories of catastrophic issues if people just continue to drive on issues like that. So they just go ignored and they just don't pay attention to them. Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick announcement before I close the video out. So for anyone that is watching this that is planning on going to Fuelfest over at Texas Motor Speedway on April 16th, I will be there. I got my car in the show. So for anyone that is watching this that would like to get together, hang out, meet, and whatnot, drop a comment or leave me a message. I'd love to get together with anybody that is going to be at the show. So let me know. This is going to be my first time at Fuelfest. I know it's a big ass show. I know there's a live show, like, you know, a concert, a drift event, I believe, and I know a few of the cast of Fast and Furious is planning on being there, as far as I'm aware. They're going to have a few of the cars from the Fast and Furious there. And that's really all I know. So this is going to be my first time attending a Fuelfest, so I'm quite excited about it. But yeah, go ahead and drop a comment and let me know if you're going to be at the show, or leave me a message. But that's going to conclude and wrap it up. But if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, like I've always said before, hit subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.